Hey, good morning, guys. This is Alan, RDA N Scale. Um, it's almost 6 o'clock. I hope you all are having a good Wednesday morning. And I wanted to kind of finalize up from the videos that I compiled talking about plastic versus metal wheels. I'm wanting I've been wanting to show this on my locomotive here. I've been using or I used Inox MX3FG. It's a food grade approved, protects, lubricates, displays, and penetrates. I used it on or applied it on my tracks. Let's see, this is October, and I applied it back. Oh, let's see here. I applied it in June. I I got I got my engines here, my SD, a couple of my SD70 Aces and AHs. And I got them in March, got to run them, do a little testing with them in April, part of May, and then I had my gallbladder removed. And my throat's kind of raspy a little bit because of I still think it's because of the stent install and removal. I think when the doctor done it, I think she rubbed my vocal cords or through my throat, and sometimes I kind of have issues with it. But moving on back to this with the wheels here, I think this is going to focus. There we go. There's a good focus. These wheels on this engine are just as shiny as can be, I think. I hope you guys can see what I'm seeing. I'm trying not to move the camera around too much. I'm trying to keep it steady. To me, they look really, really, really clean. They have that nice nickel plated, look. I mean, they don't look dull. I mean, they look like, to me, they got a good shine to them. They're not dull. When I treated the track, I cleaned with the clean rag. I cleaned the track, wiped it down, and then retreated it again. And then I used some Inox on my engine. Actually, a couple of my engines, and then my 9088 here was one of them. I've not really had any issues with this engine running on my inner route, and my inner route's only got 2 power rail joiners. My outer route, I've got 4, and the reason I've got 2 on my inner route is because I was running for a long time DC until I converted over to DCC. But my track, after I take a rag and wipe it down, after I wipe over it, I can take my finger and run along the rail, and it's just as smooth as silk. I mean, it's amazing. It's just as smooth as silk. But that track, I've been using it since I installed it in 2016. So it's been there for a while. And it's been cleaned a couple times. Before I used Inox MX, I was using my track and rail cleaner, my ACT 6006, which, as it says here, cleans and leaves a non-slippery conductive coating for improved electrical contacts that enhances performance of DCC and sound systems. I was using that. I know with the Inox, you don't want to apply it if you're running steam because of the rubber tires on the steam engine. So I've kind of kept my outer route. Instead of using anything other than IPA or alcohol, I've just basically used that. So I mean, because I didn't want to hopefully damage the rubber tires on that on my 4018. But these wheels and this engine has done pretty good, and this is how my plastic wheels. I've been running these hopper cars on there for quite some time. As you can see, the wheels look pretty clean. I do have, this car here has a little bit, this car has a little bit that needs to be cleaned up, which takes, all you do is just pull the wheel out of the truck and give it a quick spin on a piece of rag or something like that, and that stuff's gone. And other than that, I mean, one thing I like about plastic over metal, of course I used alcohol to wipe anything down with. My, like if I'd take a metal wheel, I would take a little bit of alcohol and soak on the rag, and then I would wipe the metal wheel off. Same thing with my plastic wheels. I do the same thing. I would take the wheel, take a little bit of alcohol, make a quarter size of, with alcohol, and then I would wipe the wheel off, and like with this here, I can do the same. And it works. I mean, the plastic wheels, they work well. I've had these plastic wheels on this Intermountain car for probably 3.5 years now, and only a couple times have I had to clean the wheels. I think a lot of it is track maintenance. I think if you can keep your track, fairly clean, I think that helps quite a bit. And there was questions that Greg responded to. Do you clean your wheels on your cars? And I think Greg had metal wheels on his cars, on his HO cars, and he said no. I haven't had to clean my wheels on my cars, haven't had to clean the wheels on my engines. But I think that if you use, if you keep your track clean, or use like the Inox, maybe the No-Ox ID, I think that will help. It cuts down the oxidation, and I think it might also help to limit what you see here on these plastic wheels too. So I think what does for metal can also do for plastic. And I know, and I haven't touched these wheels on this engine, and they look pretty good. But like I say, after I done that video, I wanted to do this follow-up and, point that out and point out, yes, I do have some cars that have metal wheels on them, and I do have some that have, mostly plastic in them. Um, my my cars that have plastic, um, sometimes I have trouble with them going through the turnouts. um, if I'm running my Kato, if I'm running my Kato cars, like my intermodals, I can run my intermodals through my turnouts, and that's going through the number 4, which is a pretty tight turnout. And I haven't had any issues trying to get this out. I haven't had any issues with my Katos at all. Whereas if I try to run my microtrains through there, and I don't know if it's because some cars are, they have, the couplers are truck mounted versus some cars are, body mounted couplers. I don't know if that, if that kind of throws a curveball in there, and that can cause, when you're shoving cars back, the cars want to derail. I've had that happen a lot of times when I've been backing my cars onto or backing, through my turnouts. they'll jump the as they're rolling through the turnout, where with my metal wheels, they haven't had no issues. So metal versus plastic, maybe the metal being slightly heavier helps. It could be just the way the car is too. It could be the on the intermodals, on the Kato intermodals, that truck can actually float a little bit. They got the truck to where it's kind of got like a springy system in there to where it kind of floats a little bit. So the truck can kind of pivot a little bit. So I think that's what helps the Katos. And I think Kato, as a rolling, as for their cars and rolling stock, I think they do, pretty good as they do with their engines. But I'm not a fan of Kato's steam locomotives though. These here are, and I kind of wished Microtrains would come out with these more. These are Microtrains metal wheels, and I don't know if you can see them. I'll see if I can turn this on end. If you can see right there, you can see the plastic. You can see the plastic cone going through the wheel there. And what I like about the Microtrains is the way they've got the sleeve. I like the way they got the sleeve on the wheel to keep the wheel from going any further onto the axle. I mean, it goes so far, or it can go only so far. Maybe I need to pop this back off. It only goes so far and then it stops. And that's the reason I like the Microtrains metal wheels over some others. And I just kind of wished Microtrains would ramp up their I wish they'd ramp up their production of their or get their 36-inch wheels out like these 33s here, because I might use them a little more, or I might switch over to them, because like I say, they are spaced, like they're supposed to be. They have a good flange to them, and they roll down the track pretty good. I mean, they have a little bit more rougher feel than what some metal wheels are, but I think Microtrains has a good thing here. And with the type of metal they use, I don't know if they have the problems with shorts, with the with the metal wheel shorting out. I don't think they would, because it looks like it's a metal wheel, but like I say, the color of the wheel, I don't know if they'd have that problem. And plus, with the plastic being in the center of the, as the axle, you definitely ain't gonna short across from this side to this side. So, but I think Microtrains has got a pretty good thing here if they'd only get them in 36. But let's kick this back off. Moving on to these cars over here. My Canadian National, that car there, that Canadian National, and that Canadian National, those three, my Burlington Northern Santa Fe, or my BNSF 25th anniversary has plastic, but those Canadian Nationals, they're kind of a specialty car, I guess you could call it, that Microtrains has done for their. These are a 3-car set, and I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th set that they've came out with. They came out with a 36-inch wheel, and I've rolled them down the track, and they do pretty well. Let's see, my beer cars. That BNSF patch car has got. Okay, I was mentioning about my BNSF right here, my 760 796. This is one of my beer cars that's that I've got the metal wheels on. It's the patched car that BMLA did. It's got metal wheels on it. Let's see, my Santa Fe Super Shock Control's got metal, and then where do I have on this particular one, I had metal wheels on here, but they didn't do so hot. This is my other patch, my 760 821, and I changed it over to Microtrains plastic, and it does really, really well. But like I say, some wheels on some cars, they do okay, but then some they don't. So this is my Blueford Shops, and it's got metal wheels, and they do pretty good. I think it's just sometimes it's the character of the car, the character, it's just how they mesh together. And if they don't mesh, that's when you want to change things up. if that's kind of how I've looked at it. That's how I've kind of looked at it. If the car don't roll very good, then that's when I start making changes. But I pretty much leave things as is. if when I take it out of the jewel case and the car rolls smooth with metal or plastic, if it rolls smooth and goes down that test track of mine and I see no issues, I pretty much leave things as they are. That's just like with my engines. If I think an engine going down the track is doing kind of the little hippity the 70 aces are pretty easy to pull the trucks out of the frame. You can pull them out, and I usually on the end pieces here, I'll usually lube this end, and I'll lube this end where the dog bone comes into the tower. Where that goes in there, I'll put a little bit of Labelle's 106 in there and kind of lube that up and make that where that dog bone spins around in there just a little bit more. I mean, it's just small touches that you do with your stuff. I mean, it can happen on it can happen on an engine, it can happen on a car. Those little small touches that you do that makes things roll a little easier, roll a little smoother, that makes the world go a little easier for you. And when I'm showing a video, I want my stuff to I want my stuff to be, if I'm seeing issues, I don't want you guys to see issues. If I'm seeing them, I want to correct them so you guys don't have to see them. Or if there is an issue, I try to fix it as quickly as I can. And I guess that's the particular part of me. And so, but for, I want to say for 6 years, I pretty much had, of course I haven't got to change my layout that much. It's been about the same as it has been, with any hobby, money can be a factor. Living where you live can be a factor. We're still living in the apartment that we're living in, and which is somewhat nice, because the water and trash and all that stuff is all in one thing, so it's easier to work with as having everything being separate. But I wish we had our own place, and that's kind of what me and my folks are looking at. And so, yes, I know I added that in there, but I like the train room. I like my trains to have their own room, and I like to expand, and make, have a little bit bigger layout, and, expand the fun a little bit. But, like I say, both plastic and metal work for me, just the same. If they get dirty, and they will, clean them up. If they don't roll smooth, make an adjustment. If the metal wheels that come in the car that you paid $75 for, if the excuse my language, if the car is excellent, detailed, sharp, but the wheels ain't worth a shit, or ain't, again, excuse my language, if the wheels that are in the trucks ain't worth a shit, then you remove them and you put something that's cheaper in them and you move on. And, and you just eliminate, what you do is you eliminate the problem that you don't want to keep having. And so, like I say, I apologize for saying what I said, but that's kind of how it is. Because I mean, I bought cars that were, 40, 50, 60 bucks, and the cars are sharp. I mean, the detail in them and everything is sharp and everything, but the wheels, fail to perform. So, you remove what fails, and then you make everything good. Car looks good, car rolls good, and so, that ends the problem. And so, I guess with that, we'll call it the ending. And so, we'll probably not we'll probably not the metal plastic dilemma will probably go on. I mean, it's got to, because I know sometimes metal does good for some things. Like I say, metal wheels, and I may sound like I'm running this through the dog pound more than I should, but metal wheels do good, yes, going through the turnouts and that, and it could be the way the flanges are on the metal wheels. My Katos with the metal wheels do excellent going through the turnouts. My Microtrains with the plastic wheels, they sometimes, they falter, or they derail. So it's, I guess if you could have your cake and eat it too, if, like I mentioned, if Microtrains would ramp up their production of 36-inch wheels, the 36-inch metal wheels with the plastic axles, I would probably convert most of my cars back over to metal, because I think the metal wheels, the metal Microtrains wheels would, possibly, and the reason I say this is because when I was pushing or shoving my Canadian Nationals that had the 36-inch metal wheels, while a few of my cars that had plastic Microtrain wheels on them derailed, the metal wheels that were on my Canadian Nationals, I had no problem with. They were basically like the wheels that were on my Intermodals from Kato. So, I think, like I said, if Microtrains can, get those wheels, get them out there and get them available, I think I would probably, move over to, to a metal style wheel more so than plastic. But we'll just have to see. They haven't. I've looked on their website, and I see their 33s, but that's all I see is their 33s. I haven't seen no 36s yet. So I guess it's just when they decide to put their 36s in full production, make the 36s like they did the 33s. But guys, I know some are going to say, I only use metal, and metal is king. That's true. Metal is okay. That is, if it rolls good. Some are going to say plastic is king. There again, if plastic rolls good and you don't have to worry about derailments. That also could be if the cars that could be a factor of truck mounted compared to body mounted. And so that might be something to look into. Is it better to just go strictly truck mounted or strictly go body mounted? With a body mounted coupler, the car is shoving against the other car, and the truck can kind of do as it wants to do. It and might have a little bit more freedom, whereas a coupler that's built into the truck, if there is resistance or there's push on it or whatever, it could cause that truck to lift, or that truck to be pushed into a position where it does climb up the stock rail and cause the derailment. So that could be something, to look into or to think of. Should you go to full body mounted couplers, or should you go to truck mounted? Now, on the Katos, they are on the intermodals. That is, on the end of the intermodals, where it has the coupler. That is a truck mounted coupler. But the coupler itself is got a spring behind it, and it allows a little bit of a float in the coupler. So that could help, the Katos, when they're traversing through a turnout or a switch or whatever, and because that coupler can float a little bit on that spring, that might help that. Of course, there is springs behind on a truck mounted microtrains, but again, if the coupler is pushed to a certain limit, that could cause the derailments that I have seen. So that might be something that, we all might need to talk about, further down the line. And so it might not be all just in the wheels. It might be body mounted couplers compared to truck mounted. This is kind of fun, gets a good debate going. And You know, debates are fun. We need them. And sparks up a good conversation. And so, but anyway, we're going to end with that, and we hope you enjoyed the videos that I've done. We hope you enjoyed this video here. I think I'm going to go grab me some shut-eye, and we're going to put 9088 back on the rails in the Canadian National car there, the Rainbow Warrior car. And I think we're going to grab a little bit of shut-eye, and we'll put these videos on, and you guys let me know what you think. I mean, tell me what you think. I mean, you know, I love to hear, you know, comments from all of you. I really do. I mean, comments are better than no comments at all. I mean, you know, sure, I want you to give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, but, you know, let me know, let me know what you're using, what you like to use. Like I say, I'm not a hater of metal wheels. I'm not a hater of plastic wheels. I think they both do good, in certain regards, so I'm not, and I don't hate body mounted couplers versus, truck mounted, but is there a better solution to make them operate better? What kind of what better solution is there? Or maybe us N-scalers can find to make things do a little bit better for us. I guess that's what I'm asking. So, guys, give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, throw out the comments to me. Let me know what your thoughts are, and we thank you for watching. You guys have a great morning, great hump day, and y'all take care, be safe out there, and we'll see ya. And we're ready for the next good